Damon Friedman here with the Force for Good Show podcast. And today's topic, man, I just wrote that it's powerful prayers. So I'm gonna start off by just telling all my listeners out there, I'm not a religious person. I'm not. I am a person of faith. I believe in the power of prayer. I am a Jesus follower. That's what I am. I think it's important to have faith. I really do. I just don't know how people don't have it. And I'm going to tell you, if you're not a person of faith, then this message you should listen to. This is very, very important. Because 8 billion people in the whole world, and a billion percent, I know that there's a designer, a creator in the universe. 1,000,000,000%. There's a reason why I'm a Jesus follower. I did a lot of research. I did a lot of research. It's like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and he's got like this book. His dad provided, I don't know, it's like all these like little designs and whatever, and I ended up following it. You know, I was like, he's dodging every obstacle. It's like he's trying to kill him, right? And then he gets to this point on the very edge, and there's just like this big abyss, and there's like the other side. He's like, how do I get from here to there? And that's when the step of faith occurred. I mean, you gotta have faith, and I'm just starting off by saying that because I think it's just, I know that we're not alone here on this earth. Some people want to believe in aliens. Well, I mean, I think there's, you can if you want. Are there aliens out there? Yeah, maybe. Maybe not. I see little pictures. But there's definitely a ton of evidence about Jesus. That's all I'm saying. This podcast today is important because what happens when you're all alone? So just hear me out. Just for a split second. Don't turn me off. Just give me a shot on this one. So late last night, I was in some immense pain. I struggle with depression. I do. You'll hear in one of my other shows that I kind of have this. I heard this friend. It's like if you're dealing with depression, you're looking at the past. If you're feeling anxiety, you're too fixated on the future. If you're finding peace, you're in the present. Because you can't control the things that have happened. And you sure can't control about the things that will happen overall. You control right here, right now. And I was struggling, and I was gazing at the constellations. And I was literally, I was dreaming of the oceans. I considered all the magnificent, the stars and everything beautiful, the mountains and everything's so gorgeous, the creation. And as I once saw my name on the waves of the oceans, as in me surfing some of the biggest obstacles in the whole world, surfing them. I'm from California, LA. Surfing's pretty big out in California. Now I live in Florida. Surfing is pretty big out in Florida. There's something about waves, man, just riding them in all the way. Something spiritual about it. Being one. I'll tell you another. I feel God when I'm in the ocean. I'm diving, surfing. I'm not very good at surfing, by the way. But I'll tell you when I do feel God, when I'm jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. And you see the whole world, the landscape is gorgeous. All of a sudden, as I was struggling that night, I suddenly heard a deep voice in my heart. And this was on, I was reading a couple of verses, and I'm just going to read them out. I'm going to read them out. Because these are the ones that I heard, and these are the ones that I read. Come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, And I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light. You know who said that? Jesus said that. And so as soon as I read that, like, I mean, I don't know about you, whether you're a person of faith or not, that sounds so encouraging. That somebody's willing to carry, in the military, it's like this heavy rucksack. I'll tell you what, there's nothing heavier than climbing a mountain in Afghanistan with a heavy rucksack, with your weapon and all your ammo and your radios. I was grateful I went to Ranger School. I was grateful I went through the Marine Corps. Man, I'm telling you, they crushed my soul, got me prepared. But it's heavy. And I was looking back at some things that I struggled with, And I believe in having honor and courage and commitment. Those are core values in the Marine Corps. Those were instilled in me the day I joined the Marine Corps. And so I just kind of cried. I prayed. I did. I prayed. I was like, God, please give me some mercy. Why am I struggling with depression? It's about the past. There are people that love to remind you about what you did wrong in the past. Maybe it's because you hurt them. Maybe they're hurt because of the decisions that you made. I don't know. Or maybe they're just people that want to hurt you. And hurt people hurt others. And I'm just like, God, please help me. Every person in this world is looking for love and meaning. That's the truth. And I'm just sitting there and I'm praying, and I'm asking God to help me with this. And so I begin to just pray, because he is someone. I was all alone, and it's always dangerous during my darkest times, and I'm depressed and I'm all by myself. These are the times when I pray. And as I was praying, all of a sudden it's about making a choice to be present. So I wrote this down. This is a commitment. I have to remind myself all the time. And for all of you out there, if this is the first time you're hearing me, you're like, man, this is impossible. I hear Damon speak on the stage. I just don't understand how he's dealing with depression or anxiety or any of that if he struggles with it. But yeah, I'm human. I'm no different than you. I'm human. That's why I'm talking to you right now. I'm telling you all my dirty laundry. And so what I did was I have to stop the madness. I have to stop the cycle. And so after I was done praying and just asking God for mercy and some strength, but more importantly, and wisdom, but more importantly, courage to do what's right, to be present, to not be so focused on the irreparable past and yet be focused on the invincible future. That's a quote that I have. It's my mantra. Let go of the irreparable past. You can't do anything about it. I have to tell myself this all the time. I think you need to record it and just play it like all the time, because all the time, if you see me just kind of zoning out, I'm probably thinking about, man, I could have done that better. That's a problem. It's a problem, and I got to stop. So I wrote this. I said, today I'm going to be present. I'm determined to not allow anyone or anything to depress me from the past. I can't allow anyone or anything to create anxiety, especially about the future. I have no control of that either. I mentioned that in the beginning. Do you have control of the past? Do you have control of the future? No, man, you don't. I continue writing, but I have control of not allowing those weapons of the enemy to reign in my moment. Whew. Yeah, that's right. That's right. You have the power to be present and not allow the negative forces of the universe to infiltrate your moment of positivity. You get to choose. I have control of making a sound and just decision now. That's right. Look, you made some mistakes. Do what's right. Go tell that person. Apologize. Address it. Don't be cowardly. Don't run away. Do the right thing. We've got this thing like, you just let go and let God. Let go of whatever is going on. Just give it to him and just, it's in his to-do box. Keep moving forward. I'm not saying you could just do anything wrong and then just like, oh, I'm good. All I got to do is like ask for forgiveness. Hey, I'm sorry. And just continue to do whatever you want. No. It's a process. And so I continue to pray. And I wrote this. I've prayed. I've meditated. And I'm asking for strength, for wisdom, and the courage to get through this. Let me tell you why. Because I have a great family. I really, really do. I always talk about my two treasures in this earth is my son and my daughter. They need me. I've been gone for 20 years, dealing with the war, multiple deployments, Iraq, Afghanistan, sustained injuries, finding myself in the hospital, losing friends to suicide, to killed in action on the battlefield. Man, I've gone through a lot. That doesn't even begin with the stuff I had to deal with being born and raised in downtown LA and in the worst conditions. Filth, criminals, drugs, prostitution, like the whole thing, man. Don't even want to get into that. I'm here right now and my family needs me. You know why? They need the best version of myself, and the people around you should have the best version of you. Because your family is worth it. Your community is worth it. You have a calling in your life, and you need to accomplish it because it's worth it. And I'm just being very real because I'm probably going to have to listen to this message again in the future for myself. You've got a lot of enemies out there. You really do. And a lot of them, all they do is they put hate in your life. They put disappointment in your life. You've frustration in your life, conflict in your life. And a lot of those people, you don't realize, are people close to you, family members. Somebody who I trusted, who was a family member, I put a lot of trust and confidence in that person, and that person hurt me deeply. Deeply. It's bad. It's bad. I'm a grown man. Still feel the pain. It's part of the process. Every day I've got to ask, I've got to forgive this person. And as soon as I feel like I forgive them, all of a sudden it rears its ugly head as a reminder of what that person did to me. Anybody hurt you that way? Anybody hurt you like that in the past? Abused you? Violated you? Took advantage of you? Exploited you? Especially when you couldn't do anything, when maybe you were younger or couldn't stand up for yourself. Look, there's a lot going on in this world, man. Everybody has a story. Everybody's on a journey. Everybody. And I'm going to tell you something. For me, the more we accomplish, the more successful we are, the more notoriety that we have, I'm telling you, man, you get people from all walks of life. People who call themselves friends. And they're coming to infiltrate you. Got to watch it, man. You got to watch it. So today, I'm encouraging everybody that when you're struggling, man, pray. It's awesome, man. There's something very powerful about prayer. There really is. There's a God in the universe, and this is my conviction, whether you agree or you disagree. I believe that this superpower that's the creator, the designer, is called God, and I believe that God, 8 billion people, he knows each and every one of you by name. That's my opinion. I'm not preaching. I'm not religious. This is what I believe. I do. And I'm going to tell you right now that it's important to be fit. It's synonymous with healthy. I love using that word because when we talk about physical fitness, that connotes something. It's saying, when you're physically fit, you could do, you You could accomplish a lot of physically demanding exercises, challenges, sports. But what about psychological fitness? What about social fitness? What about cognitive fitness? What about spiritual fitness? Because I believe that humans are made of mind, body, and soul. I just do. 5% of the world are atheists. I don't know how you can be an atheist, but if you are, I respect your decision. It's your journey, man. You don't want to believe in a designer or creator in the universe? You don't believe in God? That's your decision. I do. I've experienced him 100%. No doubt about it. That's why I'm a believer. Constantly changing my life in a very incredible way. And so today, I'm choosing to be present. I'm choosing to let go of the irreparable past and focus on the invincible future. And when I'm struggling, I'm praying. And for all of you out there, I'm here to tell you that it's a life-changing experience. When you feel like you have nowhere to go and you haven't prayed, give it a shot. And if there's a verse that resonates with you, then meditate on it. I just gave you one. It was awesome. I'm going to end with this because this is what I wrote, right? So my focus is on God's mercy and his promise. Quote, from his fullness we have received grace upon grace, end quote. That comes from the book of John. All I know is this is life is hard, and I just know that throughout my years of struggling, God has been a critical component in my life. When nobody was there, and I mean nobody, God was there. He was present. I'm here to tell you that I burned so many bridges. I'm telling you the truth. It's just such a fact. I did that in high school. I did that in college. I did that in the military. I did that with my family. I did that. I burned lots of bridges, and I hurt a lot of people. And that's another reason why you hear so many podcasts from me that deal with pain, because I'm addressing it and I'm being realistic and I'm getting it and I'm facing it. I spend too long not facing it. There's going to be 100 podcasts talking about this because I think it's essential. It's important. And when people were frustrated with me and angry with me and said, I'm done with you, when I burned every bridge, even the people that loved me the most, people were at bay. My family was at bay. I'm telling you, you come back from a war, 20 years, being involved in fighting extreme terrorism, and you're involved in killing, right? Like you take bad people out, and you experience all this pain and agony. You come home, you're not a normal person. You're not. You serve in the military in a combat zone, and you're conducting operations against the enemy, and you're closing with, and you're destroying, and you're killing. You're never going to ever be the same. You're not. But you got to figure out. Not everybody does that, but everybody has their own woes. Everybody has their own challenges. You know, some people deal with some serious trauma, rape, molestation. People who who steal all of your fortune, all of your money, leave you with nothing. Some people try a drug just one time, all of a sudden they become addicts, heroin addicts, and they lose everything. Some people make some really piss poor decisions. They go gambling, they get addicted, and then they literally gamble everything away. They wake up with nothing. I know people who literally gambled their entire future, their house, their cars, all their money, and left their spouses, their kids with nothing. Look, at the end of the day, there's just a lot of craziness happening, and I'm just telling you that whether you were responsible for your trauma or you weren't, and you experienced trauma, I'm here to tell you something. There's a God in heaven. He loves you. He knows you by name, and you can pray to him. It worked for me. I know it will work for you. My name is Damon Friedman. This is the Force for Good Show podcast. Godspeed.